Alright guys, after 52 years, we still want to know who exactly the Zodiac Killer is. But we may now actually know because a team of investigators claim to have identified the Zodiac Killer. Today we're going to show you what this man looks like. Wow! Alright, this is huge. If what they're saying is true, then this is huge. In fact, everyone has been talking about Zodiac for such a long time. There's been many movies, I'm pretty sure. Well, there's one main movie, which we'll talk about in a second. We're talking about Iron Man and the Hulk, all right? For anyone who hasn't seen the movie, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's just get straight into it, okay? So the Zodiac Killer. Quick little read about this dude, right? The Zodiac Killer is a pseudonym of a serial killer who operated in Northern California in the late 1960s. Now, the Zodiac originated name himself in a series of taunting letters and cards that he actually mailed to regional newspapers, threatening killing sprees and bombings if they were not printed. Now, this is actually in the movie with Robert Downey Jr. All right, we will show you something of that in a second. Now, if you want to know how many people he's actually killed, potentially, well, going to here for a second, it's 5 confirmed dead, all right, 2 injured, possibly 20 to 28 total dead. Now, he actually claims to have killed 37, and the time span of these crimes was 1968 to 1969. So this guy and his actions have led him to become one of the most notorious and talked about serial killers, serial murderers in the history of American crime. All right, maybe the world. The guy's actually spawned so much conversations about him. In fact, his crimes are in the American Horror Story Hotel with Lady Gaga series. Go check out American Horror Story if you've not seen it. They talk a little bit about the Zodiac Killer in that one. But of course, the one that we all know, if you've seen the movie, you've got Mark Ruffalo, Hulk. You've got Jake Gyllenhaal, Mysterio in the Spider-Man movies. Well, one of them at least. And of course, you've got Robert Downey Jr., you've got Iron Man. What a freaking cast for a movie, right? That's pretty cool. That was back in the day. It was obviously filmed. Another shot. There's them two. All right. Awesome duo. Who would have thought they'd become Marvel superheroes someday? Who would have thought? Awesome. This is truly one of those things in life which we've all heard about, but no one can give an answer. All right. This is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. That's how freaking enigma-ish this is. All right. So there's his wanted poster. All right. And this is some of the things that he was sending to the media and the police, I'm pretty sure. These were some of his letters. All right. And he had those little code words, right? Well, until last year, 2020, there was one more letter that's also in the movie that couldn't be actually solved. It's taken them 51 years to solve the last letter. The Zodiac Killer's uncrackable cipher solved after 51 years. I'm literally going to read this to you guys in a second. But did you hear about this? This literally happened last year. As of recording this, of course. Most people watching this probably watch this later on down the track. But hey, so these 2 articles are coming from the Channel 9 website. Go check them out. They're awesome. A coded message sent by notorious serial murderer, the Zodiac Killer, has been solved 51 years after it was sent to the San Francisco newspaper. So the notorious 340 cipher was considered uncrackable. And police and amateur sleuths have been perplexed by the apparent series of nonsense letters and symbols. I mean, this is literally in the movie. They couldn't figure it out, right? But an international 3-person team of code breakers have finally figured out the message. 51 years later, last year it was discovered. Did anyone actually hear about this? I did, but I was actually going to make a video on this, but for whatever reason, just kind of forgot about it. But anyway, now that this has come out, now we know who the guy is. Potentially, I'm going to show you the photo in a second. Now we're making a double video for one. Well, double for one, you get what I'm trying to say? Right, anyway. Now, according to this, there was 3 people that actually broke this. And one of them was an Australian, right? Sam Blake. Good on you, mate. This is what the message said. Are you ready? After 51 years, Now we know what this says. This is what the thing actually looks like. Alright? For some reason, no one has been able to discover what this thing says until now. Like, no joke, the Zodiac Killer, you know, an asshole, obviously, a murderer as he was, right? I mean, he seriously had intelligence. Like, he was actually a really smart guy. Because he was making these codes that no one could break for 51 years. That's crazy. Think about that. That's crazy. Alright? So this is the actual code. And this was in the movie. Alright? Now, this is what it says. Are you ready? I'm literally going to put on a serial killer voice when I read this for you guys. Alright? Are we on the same page? Let's freaking do this. I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show 52 years ago. Which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner. Just like Coldplay, Paradise. Paradise. Because I now have enough slaves to work for me. Where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise. Which is spelt wrong, I might add, paradise. So they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise death. What exactly does that mean? And there's some weird spelling choices there. What exactly does that mean? I don't know. But after 51 years, that is what the letter says. And it's quite literally in the movie. Wow. Awesome. Now, who is the guy? Who is the man behind these letters, behind the killings, behind all the terror? After all these years, after the myth, the man, the legend. All right, who is he? Well, let's read on it right now. This is another article from Channel 9, right? Team of investigators claim to have identified the Zodiac Killer. And here he is. Well, in a second, right? A team of investigators believe that they have cracked the case of the notorious Zodiac Killer, identifying a man who died 3 years ago as the culprit. Now, the case breakers, a team of retired detectives, apparently, journalists and military intelligence officers, say that the serial killer is a man named Gary Francis Post. Wow, that's his name, if this is to be believed, of course. Now, the team cites distinctive scars on Mr. Post's forehead, which match those of a sketch artist drawn in the 1969, right? Now, I'm pretty sure one of the survivors of his attack saw his face and gave the sketch artist this, right? I think that's what happened. So this is what the guy looks like, and we're going to show you a better photo in a second. Is it the same man? Is it similar? Now, they also claim that Mr. Post has the same shoe size that could have owned a wristwatch found at the murder scene. Interesting. So the case breakers have accused the Riverside Police Department of refusing allow them to study hairs found in the clenched fist of another murder victim who they believe was killed by the Zodiac Killer. Interesting. So why is the police department not allowing this DNA test to take place? Interesting, right? So 55 years ago this month. Wow, that's even longer than I thought it was. 55 years ago. So our PD chose to ignore the obvious. It would take just 5 minutes to quickly and quietly compare Post's DNA. Casebreakers team organizer has basically said, so what do you think about this? All right. Do you think it's possible to solve a cold case this cold after this long? Hence why it's a cold case. What do you think, right? Do you think that that man is the man behind those terrible crimes all those years ago? What do you think? There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. The Zodiac serial killer was my father, claims author. So there's a whole other thing that we could be talking about, which we won't be talking about in this video, but there's another person who claims that their father was the Zodiac Killer. Someone completely different, right? Will we ever truly 100% know? Maybe. If we get those hairs tested, the hairs that were gripped in the dead man's hand of the potential killer, right? He ripped them off the head, right? If police ever allow the DNA tests to take place, then we can compare them with other people or family members or whatever. Wow, That will be interesting. My number one question is, will we ever figure out who Jack the Ripper is? That's another question for another day. If you like this video, we are on 2 different YouTube channels, 2 and 1. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Tallboy Gareth. That seemed a little cheap, didn't it? It was really cheap, that wasn't it? Anyway, alright. Forgive me? I've been Tall, my name's Gareth. I'll see you for tomorrow's daily video. Bye-bye.